So, what is it? What's the real cost of living for living in Atlanta, right? Everyone talks about how affordable Atlanta is, but is it really still affordable? Really? Let's dive into it. By the end of this video, you're gonna know how much you really what is really like living in Atlanta because people can say that it's cheap, but cheap is very variable. So, let's dive into it, okay? Cost of living here has skyrocketed. If you're planning on moving, you need to make sure you do your homework because you're in for a rude awakening. The whole myth of Atlanta being cheap, it's really dead. Now, when you're just breaking down cost of living data, if you're moving from certain places, absolutely Atlanta is cheap to you, right? But if you're here and you're trying to live and it be affordable, it's starting to be one of those cities where your dollar is not going to stretch as far as it did, 5 to 10 years ago. If you're still expecting those 2018 prices, they are long, long gone. Housing prices have exploded. Okay. Back in 2018, the median price was 250 something. Now we're definitely above 400,000. It's just a reality of the situation. So that's an 80% price increase in just 7 years. So, is that affordable in some areas? Absolutely. But that's a really big shift in affordability. So, if you're buying in the city or if you're buying in the suburbs, you can expect to pay significantly more than you would have just a few years ago. Let's start off with the property taxes, okay? Because it matters. Depending on what county you purchase in, it's going to affect your taxes. Okay. Of course, when you buy a home, should you go file for your homestead exemption so those taxes aren't increasing like crazy every single year? Absolutely. But your taxes affect your mortgage. It's just the facts. So, depending on what county you're looking at, you need to factor in your county taxes on there because it can really affect your mortgage. Now, if you're buying a home with a VA or FHA, that's already built into your mortgage with your escrow, and so your mortgage lender is the one that's going to figure out. They look and see what the average is going to be, and they guesstimate what your taxes are going to be for the year, and they add that into your monthly mortgage payment. So if you're financing through that, it's a little bit more comforting um, as far as knowing what your numbers are. Car insurance, guys, it will shock you. I mean, when I got here, I was like, my car insurance went up significantly. I mean, like significantly. Even if you have a good driving record, it just has we have so many accidents here. I mean, you can count anytime you leave the house, you're probably going to see an accident somewhere. Um, and it's reflected in the car insurance. I mean, it will shock you. So if you're considering relocating here, I would simply just contact my insurance and just ask them simply if the zip code that you're looking at, they can punch that zip code in and they can tell you what your car insurance is going to be. So right now the Atlanta average is 2200 and the national average is 1700. And these are 6-month premiums. Okay. So that's something that you have to take into account. You just simply do because car insurance, it matters. Groceries. So we're talking about cost of living, right? So groceries is another thing. It adds up fast. Grocery prices have climbed here as well as everywhere across the nation, right? Food chains are up. It's costing us more. A family of four, 800 to 1200 a month, and that's probably doing really good because I know families of two that are paying two and some change every time they go to the grocery store. So 800 is like you on a tight budget for a family of four for groceries. But this is real life. This is what it's going. This is how it's going down. So this is something that you need to factor into your cost of living because all of this matters when you're looking to figure out how much is it actually going to cost for me to live there. The commute tax. So this is talking about, and I hate that I have my face over this screen here so you can't see these great information. But think about your commute, right? So if you buy a home or rent a home and you are working 30 miles from there, 20 miles from there, and in a small town, 20 miles is really not that far, right? That's not a long commute. But in Atlanta, 30 miles is minimum of an hour. Minimum, minimum of an hour. So that's something you have to factor into your cost of living because the further you are away from where you work or play, then that is more gas for you. And that adds up, right? So if you're driving 2 hours a day to get to work, well, an hour one way and an hour back, that's 2 hours worth of driving for the day. That's 2 hours out of your life and 2 hours of gas that you're burning 5 days a week. So that's something that you're going to have to consider as you move outside the city because you're looking for cheaper homes, more for the money. You're farther out, you're going to have to drive farther. Make sure you account for your commute tax. Good schools equal expensive zip codes. Let's just be real. If it's a high rated school, A plus, A minus school, the homes are going to be higher. They are. They're going to be higher price points. So it's like a hidden school tax, but it's real. So if you want one of those A rated schools, either you're going to be at some of the ones that are further out, or you're going to have to pay more for those properties. It's just more expensive zip codes. The outward migration is definitely happening, and it's happening because of the things that I just discussed. You're getting more house for the money. Paulding County and Henry County, if you want to be in the South, Fayette and Newton counties. These are all where you can live for cheaper, a little bit cheaper, get more house for the money. So people are having to go further and further out. They're getting outside of metro Atlanta, right? So once we start saying counties, you're a little bit further out, right? But it's happening. People are going further and further out because they want to get more for their money, and some people are just trying to get away from the city as well. Longer commutes, traffic, like you see your life is going right in front of your eyes as you're sitting in traffic. So if you're ready to move, now you know the real numbers. Atlanta isn't cheap. It's not. But with the right strategy, you can make it work. Just don't move blindly. Make sure you budget in those hidden costs. Choose your county wisely. Think about the things that I just discussed in this video and figure out what's important to you. But before you sign anything, sign a lease or close on a home, make sure you truly understand the big picture of what it's going to cost you to live there, okay? Because it's not just your rent. There's more to cost of living. So, if you like my content, go ahead and hit like. If you are not subscribed to me, then please hit the subscribe button. If you think my content was valuable and you know someone who could use this information, then click that share button. And next time, no, no. And I will see you on the next one. It's Ayabami Kadar. Thanks for tuning in.